Hey friends, this is Sean Washburn from YourExcelTutor.com, and you're watching 30 Tips in 30 Days. And today on day 14, we're going to be talking about Sparklines. So this should be a little quicker lesson. Sorry, the other ones have been a little longer, but there's a little more to them. So this one's fun. If you have Excel, I believe it's 2010 or later, you'll be able to use this. If you have earlier ones, there's ways to kind of hack it using graphs, but the whole idea of Sparklines is if you've got a table of data, and I'm really big on visual means to be able to show things. We'll get into other things like conditional formatting and later tips. But Sparklines let you have kind of like the visual of a chart, except not the bulkiness of a chart. So what it is if we go to insert here, we'll see you've got this area called Sparklines. And if we go to the end of our row, what it'll do is it'll basically show you trends. So instead of having a big chart, you don't want to have a big chart for every row. That's kind of cumbersome. So what Sparklines do is give you that, but just in a little package. So what we'll do here, let's pick this one here. It's going to ask us the data range. So we'll pick this range, and the location is where we were right there. We'll hit OK. And you'll see it gives us a little chart, and as we change stuff, like let's say change this to like 1.5, we'll see the chart update. We'll change this to 2, and then if you have one that's like crazy high, let's say we go like 30, you'll see how it flattens out everything else on there. If we made this cell big enough, like tall enough, you might see some of this stuff. Like let's try that. So if we go down like this, you'll start to see some of that, but that's one thing. So if you have something that's way off the charts, everything else is going to show up pretty small. But if things are within a certain tolerance or range, this will be really helpful. And so I don't want to give away a tip that I'm going to use later here, but I'm going to copy this down by using this fill handle here. I'm going to click and drag down. So you could check out we're going to do a whole tip on copying and pasting and different techniques. But as you see it, just copy the whole thing down automatically. So each of these is looking across. Any of these I could pick, 2.5, and it's going to update that chart. So it's really cool. I love using these because it just gives you a quick snapshot of, hey, are we trending up, down? What was our bad month? And then when these are highlighted, you can go up here to the tab, and it gives you some options. So we could change these to columns. I tend to like the line graph, but what's nice about the columns is you can say, and the line will kind of do this, but you can say like high point. Okay, so have it quickly identify what the high points were, low points, first, last, negative, all that stuff. You can change the formatting up here, whatever kind of coloring scheme you want to have. So it gives you a lot of cool options. You can change the colors here. Different things with axes and things like that, more like graphs. So you can play around with it more. I just wanted to show you, a lot of times people, like some of these haven't used it before. If you've never wandered, it's like wandering down some aisle of a huge grocery store that you just never go down because you never buy anything from that area. And someone's like, oh, you should check this out. So yeah, use Sparklines. If you got a table like this, I would just drop some in, play around with them. It just gives you a great little insight into where things are headed, and as the month goes along or year goes along, you can see kind of what your trends are and compare one row to the next really easily that way. Because honestly, when you look at numbers, it's just hard to see. Numbers don't pop out at you like graphical things like graphs and lines and stuff do. Now when we get into conditional formatting, that'll also give another layer where you can see what's the highest one or lowest one, or trends or things like that. But Sparklines is a great way to do that. That's pretty easy to set there too. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that one, and check in tomorrow for another tip.